Hello, class. My name is Michael, and today I'll be talking about Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is really serious, so today I'd like to talk about that, and my title will be Do Not Live to Forget. That's very important, too. Like, you don't want to live through a lot and just to forget everything, you know what I mean? So, I'm doing this to inform you guys, and everyone else that Alzheimer's is a bad disease that will cause memory loss, and it impacts how people live and will react to things in their everyday lives. Alzheimer's disease really impacts individuals and their families by progressively erasing memory and functions, creating emotional and practical challenges that have comprehensive care and support systems, which is showing how families will react to patients or people with Alzheimer's disease. I know this because I work in a clinic and I see patients that have Alzheimer's disease and dementia, and I see this that they go through a lot, and like I could feed them one day and then the next day they didn't remember that I fed them at all. They don't even know who I am. And then the day after that, they'll be like, "Oh, I remember you. You fed me one day." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So sometimes it's reoccurring. It's a reoccurring thought, but then it just they it gets worse and worse every time. So Alzheimer's is usually around the age 65 up. It's not it is a very common disease, but because about 6.5 million people in the United States age 65 and older live with Alzheimer's disease, which is bad. So it says among them more than 70% and are 75 years old and older, and 55 million people worldwide with dementia. 60 to 70% are estimated to have Alzheimer's disease. This is according to the Mayo Clinic, and this shows that the early signs of the disease includes forgetting recent events or conversations. And as I said, over time, it progresses to get really worse, which have serious memory problems and the loss of ability to perform everyday tasks. With that being said, I will be talking about Alzheimer's and memory loss and the symptoms that it comes with. So, what is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's disease is a brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks. So this means, like, let's say you gotta walk your dog one day at a certain time, and then you have a certain schedule to walk your dog. All of a sudden, you won't remember the time schedule to walk your dog. You'll forget everything about it, and sometimes you might even forget you got a dog unless you hear a bark. But most people with Alzheimer's symptoms first appear later in life, as I said, with 65 years and old. But experts suggest that more than 6 million Americans, most of them age 65 or older, have Alzheimer's. That's also according to NIA. The exact cause of Alzheimer's disease is not fully understood. That's what the doctors, and it's not really fully understood, but they know that it's a combination of genetics and what they do every day, and environmental and lifestyle factors. Protein is a main cause with Alzheimer's too. If you're not eating right, I'm not sure, but what it says from the Cleveland Clinic, that protein is a big part of Alzheimer's. While the terms vary, the stages all follow the same pattern, but some everyone's Alzheimer's disease is different. Some people might forget one time, and some people might forget another day, but it's not all the same because it varies from the different stages. Some people might go through it really quick, and some people might go through it really slow. But it, Alzheimer's, at the end of the day, it'll all lead to the same thing, which is memory loss. Um, Not all changes will occur in each person. It can sometimes be difficult for providers to place a person with Alzheimer's disease in a specific stage because some stages can overlap. As I said, with that one patient, she remembers and then sometimes she don't. But then for that, now that you guys understand what Alzheimer's is, let me talk about how the stages work and the outcomes of it. So the signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's disease they vary on how which stage it is, which stage you're on of Alzheimer's, because some some start with memory, language, and behavior, and personality. You can forget all of those, and then you'll start knowing if you forget like your relationship you were in or your visual form of relationship. But then what you should do is you should always, if you reach that age or you know something's going on, make sure you get checked by your healthcare provider, because this can help determine if the symptoms you are experiencing are related to Alzheimer's disease, and they'll give you treatable conditions as it's happening, because they know sometimes it's vitamin deficiency or a side effect from a medication. But then that's according to the CDC. Early and accurate diagnosis provides opportunities for you and your family to consider financial planning, develop advanced directives, enroll in clinical trials, and anticipate care needs according to CDC. But as I stated before, there's currently no cure for Alzheimer's disease, which is a problem, but the healthcare providers have stuff that can help slow down the process of it. Early diagnosis and intervention can help manage the disease more effectively. So Alzheimer's is not easy to spot at all. So remember to be consistent with checking in with your doctor, and remember to always stay healthy. So thank you, class. That's my speech on Alzheimer's disease. Take care.